All right, guys, welcome back to episode number 2 of the Gambler's Audit with Marc and Dave. Dave is not going to be able to make it today, unfortunately. He's off doing his thing. But I have Rock here. Rock, very nice to meet you.
Good
Where are
to
you
meet
from?
you. Uh, Currently, I'm in Illinois, about
Okay.
25 miles west of Chicago.
Oh, like the Schaumburg area?
Glendale Heights, a little bit.
Glendale. Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
lived in Chicago for about 5 or 6 years, so I know the
Oh,
area.
yeah. I remember hearing that.
Yep. Yeah, I knew the area. We lived in Evanston, or actually Rogers Park, just north Chicago area. And
Okay. Yeah, I know where that is. Okay.
yeah, we miss it sometimes. The food was always amazing.
Not the cold weather, I bet.
No, definitely not. No, we're down here in Texas. We don't,
Yeah, yeah.
we don't deal with that right now.
No, no. Good.
So, where did you find us? How did you find us, Rock?
I started watching YouTube about a year or so ago,
Okay,
and I ran in or came across Cowboy Slots
okay,
when Brantley was still by himself,
gotcha.
and I'm retired, so I watch a lot of YouTube, practically all day,
I'm not retired, and I still watch a lot of YouTube.
and I have my favorites. Obviously, you guys were on top of the list. You and
Great, thank you.
Stacy were my two.
Stacy's great,
Oh
isn't
my
she?
God, she is so
She's great.
funny.
Yes,
And
she is.
a
She's
little
a
high, little too high for my budget, but yeah.
yeah. I get onto that. I get onto her about that all the time.
Is that real though? I
Blow
mean,
your bets.
I'm sure it is, but
Oh no, it's 100% real. That's
okay,
the level
okay,
that they play for sure. Yeah, that's
okay.
what they do, and it's their money.
Yeah.
That's the way they roll, so to speak. But well, thanks for stumbling your way back over to Gamble Smart. Of course, we've just started the channel, and
Yes.
we started this interview series because we want to get to know gamblers like yourself and kind of learn how you approach things and some good times and bad times, and hopefully we can talk about both of those.
Okay.
And then towards the end, we'll see if we can come up with a plan. So the next time you go to the casino, maybe it might be a little bit easier on you.
Okay.
And then what I would love, Rock, is after you do go to the casino, if you would come back and do a quick follow up interview with us to kind of learn how things went. I think that would be awesome for people to see. So,
Sure, sure.
um, if anybody wants to be part of the interview, feel free to email us. I'll put the link and stuff down in the description as well as on the screen here at gamblesmart@gamblesafe@gmail.com. No cost to you to be part of the interview, but please let us know if you want to be part of it. And big disclaimer out of the way, we might be giving advice here about gambling and things like that, but it's really up to you to decide what you want to do when you go to the casino and execute. We don't, we're doing all this based on our knowledge, experience, things like that. And so we just want to make sure that you're making the decision yourself when you eventually do go to the casino, because we just don't want to get, you know what I'm saying, like playing for
Right,
bad
right,
info and you lose your butt. It can
right,
happen. It's still gambling, right, guys?
right,
So,
right.
right. All right. So, Rock, how would you describe what type of gambler you are? Are you kind of a infrequent, frequent? Do you go off and what kind of gambler are you?
Um, I try to go at least once or twice a week.
Okay.
Um, there's about, I would say, five or six, maybe a little more casinos within 45 minutes to an hour from me.
Okay.
So it's not that, it's not close, but it's not bad.
Gotcha.
Um,
Okay.
the casinos I frequent is mostly Caesar's properties.
Okay.
Harris in Joliet, you probably know where that is.
Yes, I know where
And then
Joliet
there's
is. Yep.
another casino in Elgin called Grand Victoria, which is part of Caesars now.
Oh, okay. I
And
think I went to that one a very, very long time ago. My wife and I were up in the Elegant area. I think we stopped there once.
okay,
So,
that's probably the closest to me.
okay.
Maybe like 25 minutes, but I just started going back there because they were bought up by Harris. So um, I like to take advantage of my comps and stuff and points.
Sure. Sure.
So I've been and then when I go to Vegas, I try to go to Caesars and all that good stuff. So
Well, you're definitely doing the right thing there. As you know, listening to us, we preach all the time about sticking with one property if you can, or
right,
one
right.
reward system. So I'm glad to hear that you're not the kind of person that has like 50 players cards on your key ring when you're going in, because those
I,
people are
I
just
right. I did achieve 7 stars early on this
okay.
year,
Good.
uh, back in May for 2024. So
Okay.
uh, I've kind of ventured with other properties, just to get a taste of it. There's another place called Rivers Casino in Des Plaines
Ah,
that I've been going
yes.
to. They because they have the machines that you and I like, the three reel, they have multiple denominations, $1, $2, and $5. So
Gotcha. Okay.
um, and that's part of the reason I like going there. Obviously, they have a lot of other machines, but
Sure.
for the most part, I only play those machines. And then once in a while, I'll venture into the penny and the 5 cent slots. If I'm not
Sure.
doing good at the other machines. So, but for the
I hear
most
you.
part, I do the switch between the dollar, two, and then $5.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um,
What do
so,
you you mentioned that you go 1 to 2 times a week. What kind of budget are you setting yourself for each visit?
well, my wife is within hearing distance of me, but I it
You
used
can
to be a
fudge the
lot.
number. It's okay with me.
Yeah, it's over 2,000.
2. Okay.
Um,
Okay.
because because I'm somewhat playing with a higher denomination. I,
Sure.
I
Sure.
feel I need the funds to
Sure.
I know you guys preach not chasing losses and stuff, but I
It
I I
happens, right?
do I do you
Yeah.
know
Yeah,
um,
it happens. Listen, you can be the best gambler in the world, and I mean, we preach that stuff all the time, but I promise you there are times when Dave and I are in a casino and we fall into that trap too. I mean, it's really difficult to stay focused and not chase those losses,
right,
especially when you're used to a slot giving you a bonus round within a certain number of spins or so, and it's just not happening. You feel like it's close. You got to keep
right,
going, right? And it's hard.
right,
It's hard to like resist that pull. So I totally get what you're saying, but we do got to figure out a way to kind of dial that down a little bit so that you're not, always in the chase. Because that's where if you really look at all of your casino visits, and maybe you should keep like a little log or something, but you probably will notice that you're on a downhill turn every time you start chasing, more
right,
times than not.
right,
And that's what you kind of have to stop. And sometimes it requires you to leave early. Like you may have just gotten there and you started hitting those high denomination machines real early and you just no luck was coming your way. It might be time to stop before you start losing every single time you go to the casino, because then you get in this cycle where your mind is constantly on the chase. You've had 3 bad casino visits in a row where you didn't even get a hand pay or you didn't get any kind of good bonus or anything like that, and you feel like you're due to get
right,
that anytime. And it's hard to resist that, but it's something that we're going to have to work on, to make it a little bit easier to
right,
pull away.
right, right.
um so tell me one of your best moments going into a casino. Like, what's your biggest jackpot or something? And again, you can fudge whatever you want to say.
uh, well, I'll talk about my recent visit in Rivers, the one in Des
Okay.
Plaines. I was playing. Well, I went in there to play just my free play. Um, they were giving me like $250 in free play,
Sure.
and I played the top dollar, the 5 line, old school. It
Oh,
was
they have that there.
yeah,
Nice.
just that one. Um,
Gotcha.
it was a dollar, $2, and then $5 denomination.
Okay.
I put $100 in there, and then downloaded another 100. And within a couple of pulls, I got the top dollar, and then got the no, not I'm sorry, not the top dollar, but the double fourth
Oh,
line.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
Which line was it on?
Fourth line would have been
So
3,200.
3,200?
Yeah, yeah.
3,200 credits. Wow. That's
So
great. That's a good feeling. Were you on the dollar? What
yes,
denomination?
yes.
Dollar? Okay.
With something like that,
Okay.
my max these days is 10, and I'm pushing it. $10
Yeah, sure.
pull.
Okay.
So
Now
I'll do
is that $10 denomination or $10 max?
$10 max.
Okay, I
Um,
gotcha.
and then even then, it's still a little high for me.
Okay.
So a lot of times I'll play the $5 machine and just stick with one coin
Sure.
just to
Sure.
get a higher denomination. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I truly believe that playing a higher denomination is it gives you a better chance in winning
Mhm.
versus, a lower denomination and let's say full max bets.
Gotcha. Well, let's talk about that for a little bit because that is a
Okay.
really good point for people to understand. Is that although it is true that the payback percentage on a machine that is higher in denomination is going to be a little bit higher than the previous denomination. So you could say with fair certainty that a $5 machine is going to have a higher return than a $1 machine. So I
Okay.
see your logic. I understand why you think going to the $5 is better. But I got to tell you that the difference between the 1 and the 5 is going to be so minute that you will never notice it in any kind of short-term play and even any kind of long-term play for that matter, because the difference is probably going to be 1 to 2% at most. And that's just something that you're not going to be able to visualize or discern in a short visit or even over several visits.
Okay.
And the reason is because slot machines are going to have a lot of swings up and down throughout their lifetime. And it's going to take a very long time for those machines to finally reach what the payback percentage is. We always say around 10 million pulls. That's what they put on the
Right.
documentation
Right.
and everything.
Right.
So, what we always try, and this is very difficult for people, is if you feel like you're pushing it, like you're playing the $5 because you've heard that it pays better, we think that's probably not the best thinking. You should probably wait to play the $5 when you are doing well on the $1 or the $2. Um,
Mm.
so here's a good scenario. Here's how I would try to approach this. So one of the things, and you've probably seen some of our videos where we do build up, methods and things
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
So in my opinion, the worst thing that you can do with your budget is to get right into the casino and go to the highest denomination that you're comfortable with playing, because that could end your night very quickly and
Yes.
also could get you very quickly into that mentality that you have to chase back those losses.
Yes.
And so I recommend always starting out very low, the lowest that you feel like you get some kind of enjoyment and excitement out, right? Like if you want to go play nickels, fine, but you're probably not going to get excitement bringing $2,000 to the casino and playing nickels, right?
Right. Right.
So, in my case, perfect example is the 5 line top dollar. What I would do is start on the dollars and then try to double my money from 100 to 200. And then if I do that, switch to the $2 and then try to double it from 200 to 400. And then when I get to the 400, then switch to the $5 and push your luck on that. But the entire time you're playing off that original 100, right? And
Mm.
so if you do end up switching to that $5 and you've got $400 in it at that point and you lose it all, it's not a big loss because you've only lost the original $100, if that makes sense. So
Right.
you're pushing your luck and your risk at the right times there by doing it, instead of just going straight to the 5. Because I understand why you do that. I fall victim to this too, because it's just, you're ready for the excitement. You got your full bankroll. You just got into the casino. You're ready to go to town. You're ready to get those big hits and those jackpots. But a lot of people go into the casino when they first get in there, their mind just goes out the window because you're just excited. You have your full budget. But try to remember those nights where you're walking back to your car, and you got your head down like this, and you're like, what did I do?
You
You're
dummy.
I know, you're checking your pockets to make sure you don't have any extra hundreds slipped away
Yeah.
that you forgot about. I mean, those types of things, you got to try to remember those times whenever you first go into a casino and say, I don't want to do that this time. And so it is going to take some adjustment. But I think for you, the best thing you can do is to go play the dollars first and then slowly try to build up and push your risk off of your winnings, not off of your budget. And I think your budget might last a little bit longer. Is that making sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that I struggle with is I don't put several $100s at a time on a machine. I put $100 in.
Okay.
Let's say do the dollars, and whether it's 2 coins or 3 coins, and then if I lose it, then I go to a different machine, or do I stay at that machine? And it's hard to determine what your next step is. So
sure.
Obviously, those are older machines, so they're
Right.
not as plentiful in a casino anymore. So you don't have that many choices. So
that's true, and it sucks sometimes.
yeah.
Do you find yourself when let's say that you went in on the $100 with the top dollar and you just didn't get anything, which can happen? When you do decide, I want to go try a different machine, do you stick with the same kind of free reel, low volatility machine, or do you feel like you need to go play something riskier?
For the most part, I try to stay with the 3 reel.
Okay.
Like I said, maybe towards the end, I'll try like huff and puff, and but not too much. Okay.
Right.
I get I
You just that last minute Hail Mary, right?
yeah. So, but for the most part, like I said, I try to stick with the 3 reel machines.
Okay. Now let's turn the tables a little bit. Tell me about a bad visit to the casino.
Oh,
let me guess. The last 20 trips? No, I'm just kidding.
no, I actually done okay. Well, I'll tell you about. It was a week ago, last Sunday. Well, let me backtrack a little bit. Caesars has those 5 times tiered credits, and like I said earlier, I'm already a 7-star, so I was using my daughter's card. She's almost Diamond Elite, the 3rd level of Diamond.
Okay.
So I was using her card to help her to get to that next level. So, at any rate, went couple thousand, went on a Sunday, and then I was actually there for like 2 or 3 hours, and my wife started calling me because we had to go somewhere to Chicago, and then so I left, losing about $900. I think,
Sure.
knowing or thinking to myself, I'm not done with you yet.
Revenge is sweet. I'll be back.
Yes. So after our Chicago trip, I dropped her off. Went to back. This was at Elgin.
Okay.
It's called Grand Victoria. If
Okay.
And within, I would say 5, 10, 15 minutes, I got my money back.
Oh, okay.
Playing my go-to machine there is a 2 coin double diamond, uh,
Okay.
a dollar, 2, 5, and 10.
Okay.
Um, what do you call it? Denomination. So I was playing $5 with 1 coin only because I just started. I just got in, and
Sure.
like I said, within 15 minutes, I got double diamond, and then the 3 bar,
Oh,
which
okay.
came out to be like $800, I think.
Okay.
And then I got a few other little hits, and once I saw I had $900 on my machine, I said cash out and left. So I go home, and when I got home, my wife said, "Did you go to the casino?" Because I was only gone for like an hour,
Yeah.
20, 25 minutes to go there, and maybe a little bit over an hour, but all I wanted was a little revenge.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Being down, not too much. Like I said, $900 wasn't, it's not really that much, but
Right.
the satisfaction of you know breaking
Yeah.
even was more gratifying than probably winning for me that day.
Right. Right.
Okay?
Yeah. And that's I mean, it worked out in your favor that time, but that is dangerous thinking, and I think you know that. Because your endorphins kind of take over, and a lot of times when you're in a casino, and you're having a bad string of luck, it's happened to all of us that have ever gambled before.
Okay.
You just can't seem to hit anything. You start to feel like either something's coming or I can't leave without getting a positive note. Like I can't leave on a negative note here. I need to get something, whether it's a bonus round or a hand pay or something. I
Right.
just want to get back to even. And that's when a lot of times it's a very slippery slope, right? You can start to end up on the bad side where it just keeps getting worse and worse, and you're digging yourself deeper and deeper and deeper. And it worked out in your favor that time because you got the $800 hit and you ended up leaving, which I congratulate you on. That's very difficult for a lot of people to do. Um, I always recommend that if you're going to be in a casino and you end up getting a very large win like that, you really should pack up and leave, especially if it's a local casino,
Right.
and come back another day. Reset
Yes.
your mind.
Yes.
But unfortunately, a lot of people are not in the same situation where they're going to a local casino, but they may be on a trip for 3 or 4 days to Las Vegas, and it's very difficult to just stop on day one because it's too enticing to keep going.
Right.
So what the important thing to do there is to always reset yourself. In your case, you did well because you left, but maybe you didn't want to leave yet, and that's when things get a little bit slippier because you're like, I just got here.
Yeah.
Now I have a budget. Now I have more money to play with. Now I can go play these Huff and Puff and everything else because I have some extra money. And that's where things can go sour really fast. And so to protect yourself there, what I always try to recommend is either get a lockbox if you don't have one already, and they're just basically little devices. You can get them
Right.
on Amazon. You stuff the bills in there and you leave the key at home. So if you did get that $800 win, I might put 500 or 600 in that, and start over from $100 or $200. So worst case scenario, you're still going home a winner. It's just you stopped yourself from overextending and staying there a little bit longer and putting more money into the machines. That's where we all at some point have a problem with,
Mhm.
and so I definitely congratulate you on leaving early, but you do have to work on that. I have to get revenge on this casino because I wasn't there long enough. I feel like I didn't pump it for enough cash, and that's where things can go wrong very quickly. And I think that it's just
Yes. Yeah.
you have to really focus on that. And I think it's especially challenging with local casinos because it's like you said, it's 45 minutes or so to get to any one of them.
Right.
It's very tempting on any given day to just go out there because it's 45 minutes. Where for me, it's 3.5 hour drive. It's a different scenario for me than it is for you. And so I think people that have local casinos have to have a little bit more willpower and willingness to leave, even if you just got there. You got to win within the first 10 minutes. Get the hell out of there. Come back another day,
Right.
So,
Right.
um, well, that's definitely great. I think that um, I think you realize, and again, I'm very proud that because I thought that story was going to go a little bit differently. I thought you were going to say, I got the double diamond, and the triple bar, and then I switched to $10 denomination. I lost it all. Like that's the story we typically hear, right? So
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't do that.
Yeah. I've been pretty good about that.
Good.
The thing that I noticed with the 3 reel slots, you can get your money back.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't say fairly easy, but you got a good chance in at least getting some money back.
Right.
And it's that one or two machines that get you. You know, every once in a while, I'm kind of telling myself these days to stay away from that new pinball and top dollar these days
Mm-hmm.
because even at $1, it's $10 a pop for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's steep.
And the bonuses aren't that great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you're playing $2 or $5 denominations. I
Yeah.
would rather play a $5 machine, 2 coins, than the pinball $1 machine,
10 coins.
10
Yeah.
coins.
Yeah.
I mean, so I have to hit myself a bunch of times. What Because for some reason I get drawn to those machines,
Yeah. Yeah.
because they're fun, but
Well,
for
they're
me,
new. I mean, they're new takes on old classics, and why do we go and watch sequels to movies? Because we liked the original, and so
right,
and that's what the game designers do. They want it to be attractive, but they also want it to be familiar. You instantly recognize top dollar or pinball, regardless of what version it is,
right,
and so people that have played it, like you and I, have played pinball and top dollar for most of our careers in gambling, we're instantly drawn to those. But I have to agree with you. Um, you know, I like the new pinball, but I go down to 50 cent or 25 cent because even at $10 a pull, I feel like it's too risky.
it is.
Because like you said, if I had the option too, I would play the 2 coin $5 double diamond over that, or sizzling sevens, or
Right,
something like that.
right,
Um, because the volatility is pretty high on that machine. Now the bonus frequency is a little bit more frequent than the older versions, but the trade-off is that you're betting 10 credits instead of 2 or 3,
exactly,
and it
exactly.
doesn't make up for it.
No,
So
no,
I think it's smart to stay away from those. I mean, they're still fun to play, but those are definitely not ones that I would start out the night on. Those are ones to play on your winnings, like we were talking about earlier.
right,
So
right.
if you want to experiment with those newer games like that, feel free to do it, but wait until you get some buildup done and then play off your winnings, because then there's really no stress, because you're not. If you lose it, you're just losing what you originally started with, and I got to tell you, that is a good feeling. Um, I don't look at it as losing $400, like using our example from earlier. It's not like losing $400. You've lost just $100. That's what you started with.
Mm,
That's
okay.
a good time to push your risk at playing Huff and Puff and the new top dollar, the new pinball. Do it off of your winnings after you've built it up. And so I think you're doing a great job with that. I think that's great. Um, so I agree with you. I agree with you on those new ones. They're fun to play, though. Don't get me wrong. I think they're
Yeah,
fun, but
yeah.
they're a little risky.
Well, the bad part is the minimum on those are $1. So
Yeah,
There
they
are
don't go
other,
lower.
yeah, and there aren't that many places that have the 25, 50, and $1, denominations around
Yeah,
here. So,
yeah,
um, but I think if I stay away from those two machines for now, I may do a little bit better.
yeah.
Because the majority of that $800-900 I lost, that you know was from those two machines.
Gotcha. Okay.
So like 500
Yeah.
of them, I think so.
So this is something you might have heard before, but I'm going to say it for our audience anyway. Um, whenever we talk about playing low volatility games all the time, which low volatility games are everything that we've been talking about: classic pinball, classic double diamond, sizzling sevens, red, white, and blue. Like, these are games that are in three reel versions that are very simple. Like, the pay table is very simple.
Hmm.
Don't have big giant progressives. You don't have big giant top line hits. Those are very safe games to play because, like you said, you get a lot of play out of them, and you could usually end up getting, and it's no guarantee, but you usually can get your money back if you have a bad session. I always call those like returning to the basics. Like, if I'm having a bad night, then I'll say, I'm just going to start over and I'm going to go to the stupid double diamond machine and start with that again. Because
Hmm.
even
Hmm.
though it's boring, I know it's consistent and I can start to build my budget back up or my winnings back up by playing that game.
Right.
But there's nothing wrong with playing the other side of that scale. So it's okay to play the new top dollar and the new pinball and huff and puff. But if you're going to do it, you have to decide before you even sit down and put money in there what your limits are going to be. I'm going to do 10 spins and then I'm out. This is especially
Mhm.
critical on games like Huff and Puff and Piggy Banking and Locket Link and all those, Lightning Link, Dragon Link.
Right.
You really have to limit yourself before you get started on those, because those games are designed to suck you in and to make you keep chasing until you get a bonus. And even when you get the bonus in a game, which could take a very long time, there's no guarantee that it'll be good.
Correct.
And that is the bad part about playing a high volatility game, is that if you don't have the structure in place to commit yourself to a certain number of spins or a certain dollar amount, you will sit there and get sucked in by the game. And I don't care who you are, it's going to happen
Yeah. Yeah.
because they're built that way.
Yeah.
Almost getting the bonus, getting 2 buzz saws and then nothing, or getting 5
Right.
hats.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
it gets you going and keeps you thinking that you got to keep feeding money into it. So if you're going to play those games, I would say, like for you with the new pinball and top dollar, do 10 spins max on each of them. And if you get the bonus, great. Get out of there right after you get the bonus. Don't keep playing it. Cash out. Do a backup spin if you want to, but get out.
Mm.
Same thing with any other high volatility game. If you end up getting the bonus, don't finish your spins. Just get out, because with those games how infrequent those bonus rounds are. And
Yeah. Yeah.
again, they're not guaranteed to give you anything either. So
Right.
don't push your risk by putting your entire bankroll into those machines. And it's easy to fall into that trap. So I don't blame you at all, because especially with the new pinball, it's irritated me so much that I've fallen into that trap where it's just like, usually I can get the bonus within 10 to 20 spins, but man, there are some instances where I don't. And it's hard to resist to keep putting money in, because if I could just get one bonus, that I can get that extra 200 back that I just
Right.
lost,
Right.
and I know you think that way because every gambler has thought that. And if they don't say that, they're lying to you.
Yeah.
So
In my mind, there's enough other machines to play.
yeah,
Then so I keep telling myself, stay out of those, stay out of those. So um, I may go this weekend.
okay,
So I'm gonna try that. Try to stay away from because they do have like the one in Elgin. They do have like 4 or 5. They only have top dollars. The old
okay,
ones. A 2 and a 3 coin, and 2 of them are the old style, the non-double.
Oh, just regular top dollar.
Yeah,
Okay.
with the triple, with the
The
triple
triple, yeah, triple star.
triple
Yeah,
diamond.
triple diamond. Yeah.
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 So, and then like I said, there's enough machines to play that I can stay away from those. You know. So
They
and,
want you to play them. They want you to play them. But if you have
yeah, yeah.
options, start out at the regular ones. And I want you to try this, Rock, when you go,
Uh-huh.
is start with $100 and play the old ones, and then try to get it up to 200. And
Okay.
if you don't succeed, play another 100. You can get up and go to another machine if you want to. Play another 100 until you do double it to 200. And then as soon as you double it to 200, um, you can either up your bet by going to a $2 machine or maybe a $5 machine at one credit bet,
Hmm.
or go play one of the new pinball and top dollar, but limit yourself to the $100 that you won. Don't eat into your original 100, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But the other thing that I want you to start thinking about doing, and this is a little bit harder for locals that just drive to the casino, is after you do double your money to 200, take yourself a break. Go get something to drink. Walk around the casino. I say minimum of 30 minutes, but it's different for you because you're only going to be, you can only be there for so long, right? People that are traveling to Las Vegas and stuff, they can go up to the room and chill for a while, which is what I do.
Hmm.
But the thing is that you don't even probably realize this is happening. But when you do get a win, your endorphins just start taking over, and it's a feeling of excitement. I mean, that's what gambling is, right? When you win,
Right. Right.
that's it's very powerful. Um, but the way to stop that is to just chill for 15 to 20 minutes, even longer if you can,
Mm.
because it resets your mind back to kind of a normal state of where you were when you first got in there. And it's super critical, especially if you end up getting a hand pay. Imagine your endorphins levels are like right here, and then as soon as you get a hand pay or a giant win, they go off the charts, and you're just feeling so pumped and excited. You're excited,
Right.
you're
Right.
hollering, whatever, however you celebrate it.
Right.
But then what do? You just start putting money in all the slot machines while you're waiting for your hand pay to come, and then suddenly your hand pay money's gone, um, because
Mm.
you're in that mode where you're just really excited. And so taking a break will calm that down and take you back to a level where you can reason with yourself a little bit easier. Is that making sense? Like,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
it's
And
very much a psychology
I've
thing.
heard you guys talk about that.
Yeah.
I do. I full disclosure. I do watch all of your Wednesday and but with
Oh,
Sunday
good, good.
too. So I make it a point to watch all those things. So
Oh, we appreciate it for sure.
yeah. So
Definitely appreciate it.
but
So, a couple more questions for you.
uh-huh.
I want to make sure, and maybe your wife's out of the room now.
Yeah, she is.
Let's get real. Not unless she won't see this later, right?
She got bored listening.
how do you how do you determine that you're going to take 2,000, 1,000, or whatever to the casino? um, I hope that we learn that it's not money that you know could be used for rent money or something like that. I want to make sure it's expendable cash that you're deciding to take with you.
Oh, okay. No, 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 no.
Okay, you
Like
can
like I said,
safely set it on fire. That's what Dave always says.
yeah. Like said, I am retired.
Okay,
I have a corporation that I was able to borrow money from the SBA. One of those COVID things. So
gotcha.
to me, that's extra money. I mean, I didn't borrow it to gamble, but I do
Right.
have it. Um, just a quick little side note. I was even before I did the three rail stuff, I was playing the Konami games, the
Okay.
China Shores, and all the Konami games with the six things in the middle.
Yeah.
And it was what was it? A penny, two cents, 5 cents, and then 10-cent denomination. And with you get stuck when you get a bonus.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was in a bonus for like 6 hours
Oh yeah,
in the same bonus with,
you get hundreds of spins. Yeah,
oh yeah, yeah. I had, at least 4 or 5 thousand free games by the time it was all said and done. But
yeah.
that kind of got tiring, 'Cause
I
I
gotta
would
go eat. I gotta go eat.
well, the bonus started at 11 o'clock in the morning or at night. By the time it got done, it was 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh
You
my
know,
gosh.
and I don't press the thing when to
Yeah.
I let it finish out. And
Right. Right.
so any rate, I was taking a long time
Yeah.
in those. And
Well, they certainly don't make them like that anymore because the time that you're in bonus rounds means you're not pushing the button for more spins. So
exactly.
they have definitely changed that. And if anything,
Yeah.
you've probably realized that all the new games, the reels spin a lot faster than they used to.
Oh
And
yeah. Yeah.
you can fast stop and do all this crazy stuff,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they want
But
you spinning fast.
I would spend at least, like I said, 6 to 8 hours at a casino average. You
Yeah.
know. So any rate,
Did you find that once you got off of like the Konami games and started playing the three reels, did you see more success overall or
I did,
okay,
but at the same time, bigger losses.
bigger losses? Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, like I said, I'm not what you would consider a high roller, but the past couple of years, I've been averaging like one hand pay a month, which is
Okay.
still not enough for me, but
Right. Well, yeah.
but this year I haven't gone as many times as I have in because I take advantage of the 5 times.
Smart.
I
Very
never
smart.
go unless it's a multiplier.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. Um,
Very smart.
and a couple of things about that. My goal is to always get 1,000 points at, let's say, Caesars, and then if it's 5 times multiplier, it's 5,000 points plus they give you 1,000 in bonus.
Right.
So that's 6,000. That at least 6,000 that I've accumulated that day.
Gotcha.
And like I said earlier, I achieved my 7 stars early on, so that now I'm not going as much.
Gotcha.
I've gone to Vegas more this year than I have previous, but my goal for next year is to try to get 2,500 points per session,
Okay.
which is what 12,500 coin in. So that'll give me 12,000, but with the multiplier, that'll give me 12,500 in tier credits, and then with the at 2,500 credits, they give you 5,000 in bonus points. So that's
Gotcha.
17,500 points per visit.
Gotcha. Okay.
And as you know, you only need 150,000 points for 7 stars. So if I do it that way, I'll achieve it again next year. In less than 10 visits.
Okay. Okay.
But that is a lot of money, though.
Yeah, I think you know where I'm about to go with this.
Yes, I know. And I didn't want to. I've got that in my notes, and I didn't want to. I
No,
wasn't sure if I should say that.
it's important that you brought that up, because I think a lot of people need to understand and know that, all of these systems like Caesars rewards and MGM rewards and casino hosts and all this kind of stuff are designed to get you to forget about the amount of money that you're spending, and they want you to focus more on getting that next tier status, and maintaining status. And they send you the email saying, hey, you need to get 20,000 more in order to maintain it. I mean, all of that is marketing to get you to come back and to spend more money. And there is nothing wrong with having goals set out like you do, to say, okay, I'm going to try to get 2,500 per visit, so that I get 12.5, with the 5 times multiplier. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm glad that you're planning it out and not going on those days where you're not getting multipliers, because that's wasted effort, right? You want to go when there's some kind of benefit. But where a lot of people, and this may not be you, Rock, but a lot of people will start thinking more about getting that tier status than how much money they're actually bringing and putting in through the machines. And that's where you got to be really careful. Now, if you're able to stick to your budget of saying, I'm going to go with $2,000 and I'm either going to lose the 2,000 or I'm going to get the 2,500 in tier credits, that's up to you to decide. But what you shouldn't be doing is saying, oh, I'm very close, let me go to the ATM and get another 500 out, because that should do it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, don't do that. Never do the. I guess what I'm trying to say is never make the decision for how much money you're going to bring to a casino and play based on the tier status that you're trying to aim for. I think a lot of people will get into trouble with that, because it is marketing. It is meant to draw you in and to keep you not focused on how much money you're putting in. And I'm sure you know that, but that's the way the casino is designed for you to lose reality with how much money you're putting in the machines. I mean, that's what they want. And that's why everything's going to tickets now. And, there's stuff about smartphones being implemented and things like that. They want you to lose touch with reality of how much money you're spending. And they want to just put it all in your face. Oh, you're almost to platinum. You're almost to platinum. You're almost to a free buffet. You're almost to free rooms. That's what they want you to think about and focus on. And so it's up to you to really sit down and decide, yes, I have a goal of 2,500, but I'm not doing well tonight. I don't want to take any more money out, or I don't want to gamble anymore. Consider it a loss for your tier credits, and maybe you come back an extra bonus day to try to make that up. But just don't go into your pockets to try to chase. And I know you know this, Rock. This is more for everybody else out there listening. It's you got to be careful with that.
I mean, there have been times where, I go to the casino and just play the free play. And if I win $200, $300, $400, I won't register any points, because as soon as my free play is done, I'm out of there. Whether that probably hurts me, because I'm going in there not accumulating any points, but I don't care.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
I walked away with a couple $100. So
I mean, they'll make you feel like you're hurting yourself. By next time you go, it's only $100 in free play instead of $200 to $350 or whatever it is.
Right.
And so they'll penalize you, but you're right. You got to be strong and not let that get to you, because there is nothing wrong with just going. I mean, everybody deserves that excuse sometimes to go to a casino and just play the free play, just use your comps and get the hell out.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's free money. You've already earned it, but just with the future expectations of they're going to try to penalize you or threaten you with taking away status or giving you less free play or whatever the case is, to try to tell you, no, you shouldn't have been doing that. Screw you. I will do what I want with my money.
Yeah, exactly. And they have taken away my, free play. I mean, they lowered it. This one place I used to go to, but who cares?
Who cares, right? I mean,
I've even
you get it back. I mean, you take one of your sessions, you go out there and you spend a couple grand and get 10,000 in coin in.
Yeah.
And you'll get it back.
Yeah.
But do it on your timetable, not theirs.
Exactly. I just wanted to add, I've hit a couple hand pays from free play, and then left after that was gone.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's how much
Yeah.
discipline I have. So
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you
so
have the angel on the shoulder that's shouting at you to get out of there.
yeah,
That's
there you go.
you don't want the devil on the other shoulder taking
Yeah,
over.
yeah. So
Do you have any questions for me about gambling, slot machines, how they work, or anything like that? Can you think of anything that you wanted to ask me while we're here?
not the actual the Vegas is a little bit different though. Like you said, I you know what my budget is, and if I'm there 3 or 4 days, I multiply that by you know the last time I did okay. The first night I stayed at what I do is I booked three different places:
Okay.
Planet Hollywood, Red Rock, and New York, New York.
Okay.
'Cause they were all giving me comps.
Okay.
So the first night we were there, I had a hand pay and then like a decent size line hit. So and the I guess my biggest thing is the how they figure out comps.
Okay.
With Caesars, it's pretty straightforward. For every $5 of coin in, it's 1 point.
Right. Right.
Red Rock, it's a little bit different because I talked to the host that I dealt with. He said that I only gambled the one night, the first night, and I won, and then I stayed at the other places the other
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah.
Which didn't look good, but I don't care.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
But he said that I played for 4 to 5 hours, and they're looking for 4 to 5 hours per day. That's why they're still he's still giving me comps and stuff, but
Yeah.
uh, I went over my food comp, and he couldn't comp the rest. It was
Sure.
only $50, but
Sure.
and he said that's what he said was I didn't play enough,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and he was I tried to ask him, well, yeah, I played 4 or 5 hours, but I was playing dollars, and I would play around with $2 and $5. What's what do you want me to do?
That's
He was
right.
being wishy-washy about the
Yeah.
answer. So I guess if you know the variations of the other properties, how they work out the comps and stuff. Um, the MGM, I did get the status match last June, but they took that away. You
Sure.
guys happened to talk about that last night.
That's right.
That
Yep.
well, I forget what your term was, but they took it away after 60 days because they
Yeah.
upgraded me to
Yeah. They
the
put a time
platinum.
limit on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
is that pretty common though?
It hasn't been, but it is now. It's starting to become the thing. I think honestly, just within the last couple of years,
Okay,
I did the first time I experienced it when we were at Reno earlier this year. Because I never, I haven't really been doing like status matching like Dave has, but when I have done it in the past, I never had any issues or time limits or anything like that. But this is now the second property, MGM, that I've heard is starting to do that. And honestly, it makes sense because they'll do the status match, but they're doing it. The entire purpose for them status matching is for you to switch properties and start gambling 100% of your money there. Like that's what they're looking for.
okay,
That's why they give you the status match, so you can go ahead and get the benefits, assuming that your level of play is going to be consistent with what that tier status is that they're matching, if that makes sense.
What they give you. Right.
Yeah. So if you just do a status match and then you don't gamble at all, yeah, they're going to take it away. And now instead of waiting a year, they're just going to take it away within 60 or 90 days.
Can
and
you
then
do
they
it
won't
with
status
status
match you
match?
again. So you have to.
Oh, they won't?
No, they won't do it again. So you got to, if you don't maintain it that first time, then you're going to have to start over.
So even if you let like a year lapse, they won't status match it anymore?
No, because you're in their system and you're no longer new. You see what I'm saying? So you start all the way from square one.
Okay.
So if you're going to do the status match, do it because you really do want to change properties, because you want to. And it sucks because it's difficult to decide to. And my struggles with this too. Like the MGM situation this year has just been a mess.
Right.
But I've been with MGM for 15 something years, and I've never gambled anywhere else outside of the MGM system. So every time I've ever done any gambling, with the exception of a couple of $20 every now and then, has been in the MGM system.
Okay.
And they've got me good. But for me to switch to, say, the Venetian or Caesars, I cannot start over, because number one, what I've built up to now has been 15 years worth of gaming at various levels, but mostly very low. But I feel like I kind of almost got grandfathered into the MGM reward system,
Okay.
because
Okay.
I'm not a heavy gambler, but I've been gambling for very, very long time, only at MGM properties, and I'm out there every 3 months or so, and it's been like that for a very long time. And so they see the loyalty, they see that I'm very consistent. That's what they also want to see, consistent play. Like when you come in, you typically always play the same machines, because in their mind, they can, plan ahead for what they expect to get out of you. But if you go one trip and you only use free play, and then you go the next trip and you drop a couple grand, and then you go the next trip and you only play penny slots, and you're just kind of all over the place, you're going to have a real struggle with getting consistent comps that you can rely on, because that what they're looking for is consistency and loyalty, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And so with your Red Rocks, to kind of circle back to your question, as long as you keep going out there and you keep playing the same machines, they'll eventually see that, and you'll start to get better and more consistent comps. But if you're only out there once a year or once every 2 years, and you play for 4 or 5 hours for $1 or $2, they don't have to do anything to get you to come back in. You see what I'm saying? Like my host told me at MGM, he's like, 3 months is the sweet spot, because that is the point where they start to get a little nervous that you're not going to come back, but they haven't completely forgotten about you yet. And so that's kind of the maximum that they're willing to offer you, the most benefits, to try to attract you back out there. But there is a point where, and it's different for every property. I'm just talking about MGM, but it's different for every property.
Right.
But what they're wanting to see is you to consistently keep coming there and consistently keep spending the same amount of time and playing the same kind of machines. Then they can understand, every time he comes out here, we have the potential, which they call the theoretical, or Theo.
Yeah.
We have the potential to make a couple grand off of him. And so then they'll factor that in to how much your room will be, whether it's comped or not, how much food credit, and all that kind of stuff. So I know that was a very long answer, but really the most important thing, the word, is consistency. They want to see repetitive business. They want to see repetitive play on the same level over a long period of time, and your comps will generally continue to be the same or get a little bit better, because then they know that you're a loyalist, that you're there all the time. Every time you come out to Vegas, you're there at that property and you're going to gamble a couple of grand. They know that, and they will do whatever they can to keep that money train going, because even though it's not a high roller, it's still money that they can consistently rely on, if that makes sense.
Right.
So, and it's in some, that's generally how it works. But I got to honestly say, a lot of this has become computerized now. We talked about this last night on our show.
Yes.
AI is going to take over deciding who gets what. It's all going to be based on your player's card being in at certain times and all that kind of stuff. So who knows what the future is going to bring? But the way I just explained it is kind of the way you have to deal with it right now, especially when you're going out to Vegas. Because you're always going to get better comps in general at Vegas because of the competition. But the only way to maintain that is to make yourself present every so often, 3 months, 6 months, whatever the case is, but just make it consistent.
So it's probably not a good idea to book 3 rooms at 3 different places, right? I only
Probably,
did that. I only did that for the comps.
I
You
mean,
know,
that's fine, but just understand that you are dividing your comps by
yes,
3. And, I always say it's best to keep everything. If you're gonna bring $6,000 to Las Vegas, I would make sure that my card is in and I put all of that money through MGM related properties, because I don't want to throw off that train of being able to get free rooms every time I go out there. As soon as it's so bad for me, MGM, where everybody's like, "Hey, let's go to the Venetian, let's go play over there." I'm like, I'll go over there, but I don't want to put any money in. It's like I'm saving it for MGM because I want to be able to keep coming out here, and getting free rooms and some food credit. And the moment that I take my budget, which isn't going to change because I'm going to another property, um, the moment that I do that, I feel like I might be losing out on future comps by peeling away some of that I'm going to be, put some of that coin in and going somewhere else. And so, no, it's not the best thing to split it 3 ways, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. Just as long as you understand and expect that your comps are never going to be really that great unless you can bundle that all into one property, if that makes sense.
yeah, but like you said though, a lot of it is more computerized now, so
Yeah.
you're gonna get a set amount anyway.
Yeah.
Uh, no matter what. I don't think they'll increase it. If you stay, gambling
Well, what
properly.
I mean is, instead of getting, uh, let's say you get a free room at Red Rocks and 50 in free play, and New York, New York, you get a free room and 50 in free play. If you combine those two together, you might get a suite at New York, New York, and $100 in free play. Instead of splitting it in 2 and getting just a basic room, and you might start to get more things on top of it because they're looking for you to do the most play that you can possibly do, but then also consistently come out there and be at their casino. And so in my mind, it's always easier to try to target yourself into one system. And that's the reason I liked MGM for so long, is that they've got 8 properties on the strip. So it's
Right.
like,
Right.
if I get bored of playing in New York, New York or MGM Grand, I just go next door and play at Excalibur or Bellagio or whatever, and it
Right.
doesn't matter. I'm still in the same system, earning the
Right.
comps in the same
Right.
system. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just to wrap that up, I with my airfare credit, it
mhm.
was close to $1,300 in free play between the 3 properties, and then probably another 400 or 500 in food comps between the 3.
Yeah.
And as far as the upgrade at Planet Hollywood, they gave me a junior suite anyway. So,
Yeah. Well, listen, at the end of the day, if you're happy with what you're getting at all 3 properties, keep doing it. It's 3 different experiences. You're not stuck in one property. And I mean, I've had friends, I think Stacy's one of them, where, they get like $2,000 in food and beverage credit.
do
How are
they?
they supposed to spend that in 3 days? Like, you can't. Well, you could. Don't get me wrong, you can in Vegas, but most of the time they're probably leaving a lot of those comps on the table. And it's like, if you split it up, you know, as long as you're happy at each 3 property, they give you a nice suite upgrade and they give you decent free play and they always cover your food. Stay at 3 properties by all means. But if you're struggling where it seems like, oh, well, we can't give you a free room anymore, Rock, it's going to be $49 a night plus
Right. Right.
resort fees, then you might want to stop going there and go to a different property and just kind of build up your comps more at another property. But it sounds like you got a good thing going with the 3.
Well, again, the fact that I achieved 7 stars early on, I'm able to do that.
Oh, sure, sure. Yeah.
maybe January, I may, do it, with one property for a while until, so, but
Yeah. Yeah.
that's basically what I wanted to focus on was the
Okay.
with the
The
comp,
comps. Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
love, the somewhat special treatment you get, this line priority thing you guys
There you
mentioned
go.
that last night. uh my brother-in-law and sister were with me a couple of trips back, and we were having dinner at Gordon Ramsay's, the burger place, and there were like 20 or 30 people, maybe more, lined up. I walk up to the reservation desk, let me right in.
Flash your card.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And my brother-in-law goes, "What happened?"
Who
you
are you?
know, he was very, very impressed. So, and I like that kind of stuff,
Yeah. And then
So
you turn to him and say, "Oh, believe me, I have paid for it."
yes, this was not free, my friend.
That's right. Don't get too excited.
Yeah. So, anyway,
No,
but
that's great.
yeah,
Well, Rock, so we just so we wrap up here,
yep.
you're going to go to the casino this weekend. I want you to try what we talked about. You know, start out with just $100 on a dollar machine, your choice. You pick whatever you want to play. Try to double it to the 200, and then if you do that, go play off of those winnings and push your luck a little bit. You know, up your bet or go play the new pinball and top dollar, but don't go past that winning $100. And if you lose it when you're pushing your risk, that's okay. Start back over at those basic machines. And the idea here is to just push your luck at the right time. That's what we always talk about, is that if you're going to play those riskier games, it's good because those are where you can really win the big bucks, like the progressives and the bonus rounds and stuff like that. But you need to be able to hit it quick. And it's a lot easier to do that if you're just playing off of your winnings and you can limit how many spins you're going to do.
Okay.
So that's what I want you to try to focus on and take those breaks. Every time that you double your money, you know, walk around for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you can stand, but don't immediately go to a big dollar machine and just start playing and playing and playing. You want to try to reset yourself and say, okay, what's the game plan here? Mark said, just play the extra 100 because that's what I'm playing off as my winnings, and that's it.
That
And that way, if you lose it, it's okay.
what if I double that 100? You're talking about staying on the same machine or go to a different machine?
No, I would get off. You can stay on the same machine if it says goes from $1 to $2, for example. So off of the winnings of the $100 that you doubled, that's when you push your risk a little bit by going to a higher denomination or switching to a different machine that's a little bit more volatile that can give you a bigger reward. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I'm not. I want to try not playing the high volatile
That's
machine
fine. That's fine.
for a while.
Um,
So,
you know, try to find maybe a $2 machine or
okay.
just what I'm trying to say is that the way that you really start to build up the ladder is by pushing your luck off of your winnings. We don't want to push your luck off of your budget. That's what we're trying to focus on. And so if you can just stay focused early on and only play the low denomination double up, you know, you're just going to try to get to 200. Then when you do that, you know, do a hurrah or whatever, saying, okay, I did it. I doubled my money. Now I'm going to go have fun with this extra $100 because those were my winnings. It's not eating into my budget. So that's when you go play a $5 machine at 20 spins or a $2 machine at 50 spins or whatever you want to do. But I wouldn't just stay with the same thing unless you want to. But that's what I'm trying to say is that is the time to push your luck or your risk a little bit is when you have winnings. Does that make sense? That's what we've always done is that I'll start out on a quarter machine or a dollar machine. And as soon as I double it up, I up my bet on those winnings until I get back to my budget. If I lose it, I start again trying to build back up.
So if I'm playing 100 or $1, let's say for that 2 coin top dollar or double
Yeah.
down, whatever, I win 100. Take out that $200 and put another 100. play the $2 machine on that same machine? Can I do that?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just as long as you're keeping track. Like, what I don't want you to fall into is where you're pushing your luck by increasing your bet off of your budget, what you came in with.
Gotcha.
Only do that off of your winnings.
So if I lose that winning 100 on the $2 machine, go back to $1 is what you're
Just
saying.
go back to $1 and try to double it up again. And then when you double up again, go play the $2 one off of those winnings.
I've never tried that.
Yeah. I mean, listen, like I said at the beginning of the show, nothing is guaranteed with gambling.
Yes. No. Yeah.
But what's important with this is that you're pushing your luck at the right time. And that's why I think it's always dangerous to walk into a casino with your budget and start playing recklessly, which so many people do when they first get there. They go right to the huff and puff because they've got a large bankroll, they got a lot of cash in their wallet, and they're like, let's have some fun. And you're losing all focus by doing that.
Right.
So calm yourself down and pretend that you only came into the casino with $100. That's all you have. And if you have to go to crazy lengths like hiding it from yourself, I know a lot of people do that. Put it under the car mats in your car or whatever to hide the money.
Right.
I don't think you need to do that, Rock, because I think you're pretty much, you've got it. But I think what the important thing is that we're just not playing those risky machines off of our budget. We build up first off of the machines that are very consistent, and then push our luck to try to get the hand pay and crazy stuff. But at the end, if you lose it off of those risky machines, it's not a big loss because you still have your original 100 that you came with. You haven't touched that.
Right. So just try to keep doubling.
Yeah.
And then by going to a higher denomination then.
Right. Yeah. Like we'll do a scenario. Let's say you take that winning 100 that you doubled and you go play double diamond, and you want to do double diamond at $5, 1 credit. That gives you 20 spins, right? Just 20 credits. And let's say you turn that 100 into 400 or 300. Well, then what I would do is take that extra money that you won and hide it somewhere and start all the way back at the beginning with your original 100 and try to do that again.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So,
okay.
Because then what you're doing is you're almost rewarding yourself for, doubling your money and then doubling it and then some. And when you do that, hide it, put it away, and you'll at least come home with that. And luckily, or hopefully, you'll also come home with your budget on top of that. And then you'll open up your safe or whatever and be like, wow,
okay,
this is crazy. So
I'm gonna try that this weekend if I.
Okay.
Like I said, my this one place in Des Plaines, always my first go-to is a double diamond.
Sure.
And then after that there's a triple diamond, 2 coins each. So I'll try it on both.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great. And we'd love to hear what happened, good or bad, doesn't matter. We want to hear how it went, and if you mess up, it's okay. But this is how you learn. Like, you learn to stay focused, and like I said, just push your risk at the right times, and overall, you'll end up doing better. I promise you. I can't promise you a win, but I promise you that over time, if you stay focused and you realize what you're playing with, you will end up better off. And if not, you at least have your starting budget, because you haven't, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you double it, you still have that original $100, and you don't have to touch that unless you want to, unless you feel like you need to try it again. So the idea is to leave the casino with some kind of money. Yes. Even if you come in with 2,000 and you leave with 100 because you tried it 10 times and it didn't work, and you're like, you know what? I've been here for 4 hours. I earned a lot of comps by doing this. I'm going to take this extra 1,000 and I'm just going to leave. That's great.
Okay. I'll try that. I'll let you know.
All right. Sounds great.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much, Rock. It was a pleasure talking with you tonight, and thanks for being part of the interview. Really appreciate it.
And good luck on your venture. I'm sure you'll do good.
I really appreciate it. You're number 2. You're number 2.
I see that. That's good. So
We
what?
really do appreciate you reaching out,
I'll have
Rock.
to share this with my family, and if it
Okay.
ever comes out, I'll I'll have
I
to
will
tape.
let you know. I have to edit it down, and it'll be good. It'll be good.
All right.
Well,
Thank
thank you so
you.
much, my friend. I hope you have a wonderful night, and remember to gamble safe, gamble smart, and then you say,
Gamble safe.
"All right, there we go. All right, Rock. Have a good
Take
evening."
care.